Good morning. You're welcome to the program Eye on Corruption, the program that x-rays social political issues about Nigeria. That my name is J. Ehizefa Okale. I am here to present the program to you. This program comes to you live every Thursday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. And the topic today is who is fooling who in Nigeria? And the program again is Eyes on Corruption. We'll go for a short break and we'll be back.
Eyes on Corruption, Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, GCSDN presents Eyes on Corruption, a weekly x-ray of social and political issues. Eyes on Corruption, an expose on issues that bother on corruption-related practices in Nigeria. Eyes on Corruption, informative, educative, and enlightening. Eyes on Corruption, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Join us on our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and our website, gcsdn.org. Host, J. Ehizefua Ohali.
Hello, good morning, good day, and welcome to the program Eyes on Corruption. My name once again is J. Ehizefa Okale, the regular host on this program. And today's topic is who is fooling who in Nigeria. So many things are happening on a daily basis that you begin to wonder what are human beings or our citizens made of. The government of the day has come out with a number of policies, ideas, and programs that are very laudable, and if properly implemented, will see to giant developmental strides in the nation, Nigeria. Citizens of Nigeria extraction are doing great in their various fields of endeavors in every part of the world. We are rated in so many ways in the international community with very high ratings, in some other areas in some very not too good ratings. But the bottom line of it all is that there are very good, competent, skilled, and experienced Nigerians in leadership positions in every part of the world. But when it comes to the leadership of our political space in Nigeria, it becomes an issue. We have been bereft of good leaders who are capable of transforming the status, the economic, social, political, and the human rights status of the nation. But the problem has been the ability of the leaders to harness all the potentials Nigerians and Nigeria as a nation have. Now, the question that bothers my mind is we have very competent people, we have very vibrant personalities in everywhere, but what is going on? Why is it that even when it comes to the issues that border on developing our nation, we are not always very lucky to that effect? We know what is right. We know how to go about doing what is right. We know how to go about doing what will, in the long run, benefit the nation and result in giant developmental strides towards transforming our nation. But we find people who see what is right and willfully do the wrong thing and expecting that the nation can move forward. What is at stake is that when we engage in such acts against our conscience, against the the principle of right and wrong, we end up doing what will negatively affect our nation and thereby leading to underdevelopment or barriers in development. Why is it that in Nigeria we are very good at profiling or vocalizing very good solutions to the problems, but when it comes to actually doing what is needed, we find ourselves wanting in that aspect? Of course, yes, Nigerians have ideas. Even people who have been tested in various areas in the past, when it comes to the leadership of the nation, they often fail in transferring those skills and experiences they garner in private sectors to bear in the affairs of our nation. And in that way, we end up not getting the desired results towards nation building, towards developing our nation. What is the problem? Are we willfully doing these things? Then who is fooling who? The government comes out with very laudable policies, but they cannot follow through with the necessary political will to execute such plans for the betterment of the nation. We vote, people come up with various kinds of manifestos during elections. They sugarcoat and convince people that this is what they are going to do. On the strength of such manifestos and promises, they are voted to power. But what we often find out is the fact that when these people eventually get to power, those promises, those ideas and solutions they provide verbally during the race for those positions, they are not often followed through with. Who is following who? Why is this always the case in Nigeria? Why is it that the elected representatives who are elected into offices to represent the larger population of the citizens, why is it that the impact of their job is not felt by the common citizen on the street? Is there anything that is preventing these things from transforming into results, positive results? Is it that people just want to be deceivers, or just want to sugarcoat people to the extent that they will be able to sway them and get their votes? Why is it that the government in power comes with all kinds of policies and plans, but never follow through because the necessary political will is never executed to follow those plans to fruition? Is it often a deliberate act on the part of these leaders, or there is something that's always preventing them from following through with their promises and plans during their manifesto? Or is it that they willfully just want to deceive the people and probably fool them? This is a question that bothers my mind every now and then, and I begin to wonder, are these acts intentional acts, or the challenges of the moment when they eventually get to office has often been the reason behind they are not being able to transform all those verbal promises into physical results. Right from independence, and at least from the time I was growing up, from the primary school level and all that, it has always been the promises of politicians to provide good roads, good schools, good medical and health facilities, food and shelter and all that. But these same campaign points have never changed, which means all successive governments have never been able to satisfy even one of these promises. Who is fooling who? Do they just leave those things to remain so that they will always have points to campaign with? Is it intentional that they are deliberately not solving this problem so that at every election time they will have points on which they can prosecute their election promises? Now, who is fooling who? Are Nigerians even wise enough to know that, well, these have been the campaign points all the past 4-5 decades? Now, any politician that comes with these ideas, then we need to sit them down, begin to engage them on the specifics on what they are going to be doing and what are the steps, what are the details as to how you guys are going to get these problems solved. Because in my 5+ decades of existence, these problems have never changed. But in the Western world, all these are no more campaign points in any way. They have moved ahead, far ahead of these ones, because these problems are already solved. And there is no politician that will want to come to power and begin to bring up these issues. Rather, there will be far developmental issues to campaign about. And this is the reason why we as citizens of the nation must, as a matter of fact and as a matter of principle, begin to reorientate our minds, begin to question ourselves, begin to question our passion as compatriots. Are we doing the right thing? Are we putting ourselves in a position that politicians come and fool us, and we continue to toe the lines of these politicians over time? Must it be the same points that have been used as campaign promises that every politician will always come back to plan his campaign on? Why are we not getting it right? Why is it that the politicians will keep coming up with the same campaign points on every campaign season? Are we so, I don't know what words to use at this point in time. Is it that there is nothing other than these that we can channel our minds to bring about development of the nation? These are basic necessities of life: good roads, food, shelter, good health and medical services for the teeming population of the country, good schools. These are basics that are the barest minimum that must be provided in any society. But we have seen them as laudable campaign points in our nation, and it keeps coming back to us. After every 4 years, these are the same campaign points we always hear from our politicians. Why is it that these problems are not going away? We must begin to look into these issues, engage whoever is aspiring to be in the political space. What are you going to do about this? How are you going to bring about it? How am I sure that when by the time you're done, these problems are not going to remain? Or are these deliberate acts to ensure that they have campaign points to work on a timely basis? Nigerians must begin to be aware of that. And for that reason, we need to change our mentality towards all that. We need to change our values, our societal values, how we perceive ourselves, how we perceive the society, what we begin to think of, what contribution can I, as a person, as an individual, make to ensure that the society gets better. Even if no one is watching me, let me begin to do the right thing. Even if no one is watching you, endeavor to do the right thing so that if I do the right thing and you do the right thing and he or she does the right thing, the society will be better off for us all. For example, in those days when there was war against indiscipline, people consciously queue up in banks, in any public offices without jumping the queue. In those days, even when no one is watching you, you take a sweet a candy wrapper or whatever trash you want to throw away, you look for the nearest dustbin to put it there. But these days, everybody, because even when nobody is watching you, as at that time during the Diabo regime in Nigeria, yeah, people were gradually getting acclimatized to doing the right thing, even when nobody is watching you. But why can't we release that life again to make our nation better? When nobody is watching you, do not take bribe from someone or solicit bribe to in order to be able to push somebody's file to the appropriate office or table. These are some of the things we need to be doing to ensure that we are doing the right thing towards getting to where we want to be. We cannot sow cassava and expect to reap corn, or sow cocoyam and expect to reap cassava. It is never done. We as individuals, in our own individual life, even when no one is watching you, decide within yourself to do the right thing. Decide within yourself, I will not take bribe. Decide within yourself, I will not solicit bribe. Decide within yourself, I will not deliberately inflate the price of goods and services beyond what is acceptable. I will not pad budgets. The politicians in the state and national assemblies, decide within yourself, I will not pad budget. I will not look for kickback and kick fronts. I will not wait for the executive to grease my palm to approve or pass a bill. These are some of the things we should be doing as individuals to ensure that we are moving towards the right step of developmental economy, developmental polity. Please, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important point, and we must stop fooling ourselves and expect the best to happen to us. We must be pragmatic. We must be very conscious of what we are doing, and we must be very sincere within our heart of hearts to know that we should do the right thing to expect the right result. We cannot do the wrong thing and expect the right result. If you're in charge of an office or a department or an institution, do not willfully deny those that are genuinely qualified for placement and give it to your cronies and give it to your families and friends and relations, but look for the competent persons and the qualified persons for those spots. And that is the only thing that will engender good and appreciable developmental strides in our society. Enough of all the rhetorics we hear on a daily basis, enough of all that is going around. If we don't do the right thing, we cannot expect the right result. Even as we wait for the 2023 political dispensation, well, the candidates are already out, but we know within ourselves by assessing each of these candidates who we should be able to vote for. And that is the reason why we must be knowledgeable in what is going on in our society so that so that we can have enough decisions. We will have enough information to make informed decisions when it comes to a matter of taking decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow compatriots, comrades, Nigeria belongs to us all. We must all put our hands on the deck to ensure that we bequeath a vibrant nation to our children and our children's children. We cannot continue to do what we have been doing wrongly and expect that a miracle will fall from nowhere and just right the wrongs that we have created all these years and decades. Let us begin to work towards building a better nation so that Nigerians at home and abroad will be proud and convinced to put in their best towards creating an enabling environment for us all to thrive. The current situation in the country is very, very deplorable, and we do not want this to continue. There's insecurity of lives and properties. There is flagrant disregard for the Constitution, which is the ground on which our nation relies on. Even those in political offices flagrantly disobey the Constitution with impunity. That is not acceptable. If we want to be proud of a nation, we must be able to uphold the Constitution, the tenets of the Constitution, which those in power swore to uphold. And where they are not doing that, the society must call them to question. For no one, according to the Constitution, no one is above the law. And that is the reason why we all must strive to ensure that this nation does not go down the precipice. This nation does not go down in ruins. It is our collective effort to ensure that no matter how highly placed, justice prevails at every point in time. We must enable functional institutions so that no one person, no political power broker will be able to subvert the Constitution, will be able to do whatever he or she likes without consequences. There must be consequences for every action. And that is why we on the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy are clamoring for a new normal, a new way of doing things, so that Nigeria would be among the community of nations that are doing things rightly. We must get it right with our political leadership. We must get it right with our economic policies, and we must get it high with our human rights records. This is what is needed so that we will be properly rated by the various international agencies on a good rating. The political atmosphere is getting charged. Ladies and gentlemen, ensure you do your due diligence before you support any candidate. Do your due diligence, do your research, and do not blindly follow what our leader syndrome. Our leader has said we should vote for this. No, you have the right to know what is right for you. Go and do your research and know who you are going to cast your vote for, so that you don't mortgage the future of your children and your children's children for another 4 to 8 years. A word is enough for the wise. This is the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, bringing you the program Eyes on Corruption, and our topic today is who is fooling who in Nigeria. Do your best and let's bequeath a better nation to our children. We need to change our mentality towards politics. Until we do so, there will be no development and stability in our nation. Anyway, this is the program that comes to you every Thursday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. And let's see if there are comments, share, like, and of course, raise your suggestions. We're reaching you from multiple social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and of course our website, gcsdn.org. In the interim, I want to encourage you to be an active political player so that you don't entrust the future of your children, the future of our nation, into the hands of thugs and criminals. Let's go for a short break, gentlemen.
Let's fight for our rights. Let's take this song together. Solidarity. Everybody. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. One more time. Let's go. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's a quiz competition coming up very soon. Please register your school, know your rights, and sit back and watch the jingle on that.
Invitation. Principals and proprietors of public and secondary schools in Nigeria are hereby invited to register 2 of their students for the first national quiz competition on the Nigerian Constitution for secondary schools in Nigeria. Commencement date 1st October 2022. Deadline for registration 15th August 2022. Registration fee free. Venue virtual. Prizes to be won by the 6 best schools include millions of naira, laptops, copies of the Nigerian Constitution, and lots more. Please request a free application form by sending an email to write.gcsdn@gmail.com or gcsdn@gcsdn.org. You cannot stand for your rights if you don't know your rights.
This project is powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, GCSDN, and the Rescue Me Now Data and Media Limited.
Signed, Dr. Edmond Ike, Project Administrator.
Thank you very much. Enlist your students for this competition, and whooping prizes will be won. On this note, I urge you, let us join our hands in a nation building and bequeath a virile and strong nation to our children and our children's children. Do what is right. It doesn't take anything. Just do what is right and we'll achieve good results. We cannot continue to do things the same old way and expect to get a better result. Just imagine somebody, sorry about that, just imagine somebody went ahead to engage in themselves in this dastardly act. We're talking about building a better nation, and people are involved in hiding voters' cards and burying them. Just look at that. Is that the right thing to do towards creating a better nation? No. This must stop.
See the wickedness being perpetrated by the INEC and some wicked leaders and people in authority to disenfranchise the people of this nation. So these are people's PVC.
Yes, permanent
original
one, yes.
PVCs.
That was dug from the ground.
Hidden on the ground,
yes.
Buried.
They used
to stop them, not to vote.
Yes.
So you can see it.
Permanent one, yes.
Hidden on the floor, dug from the ground.
2.something
Look at the
million pieces
wickedness.
here.
Look at it.
It's more than 2 million pieces here.
More than 2 million pieces
yes.
of PVCs here.
Check out.
You can see what is happening in this country.
After
Wicked people.
Say, go and do PVC, go and do PVC. Go and do PVC. How will take trust?
So, ladies and gentlemen, let us examine our conscience and search your conscience if what you are doing is the right thing. If it's not the right thing, well, the law of karma is always there for you. There are consequences for every act. Whether you believe it or not, it works. Thank you. Until I come your way again, 7 p.m. Nigerian time every Thursday, the program Eye on Corruption. Bye for now.